The Super Bowl is over. The season is over. How close were the Broncos and the Chargers to making it to the Super Bowl representing the AFC? And are the Raiders in a position to go from worst to first like the Patriots? We'll talk about that. And then also we're going to get into Super Bowl odds for next year along with AFC West odds. How wrong were they? Let's get into it. Cheers. Welcome into the Third and Thirsty Podcast, your one-pot stop for Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, Kansas City referee, and Taylor Swift free AFC West banter. I'm Alex Bell, fan of the Denver Broncos. I've witnessed my team win 3 Super Bowls, should have been a 4th. To my left, I have Omar Rubio. He's never seen his team win a Super Bowl. He's a Charger fan. And to my right, Edgar Larios. He's also never seen his team win a Super Bowl because it's been 500 years since the Raiders have been good, and it's going to be a long time before they win another one.
Damn, it's been 500 years since my brother's been born?
Yes. Your brother's 500 years old, and the Raiders are dog shit.
Damn.
But yeah, the Super Bowl's over. The season's over. This sucks. We don't have any football to look forward to for the rest of the foreseeable future.
7 months. 7 months.
It's the longest 7 months ever. But nope, the season's over. We now see what a Super Bowl team looks like this year in the Seahawks, and I wasn't terribly impressed. Were you guys?
I mean, I could see it coming from far away. We called it the week before. I think we had them winning out for the most part. At least we had them winning out for the most part when we did the predictions.
As a podcast, the only game that we got wrong was the Jags and the Bills.
Yeah.
Outside of that, we called every single game. Because both of you guys had the Patriots beating the Broncos. I stuck with my team. So
we might not be able to have that second name after all, the Not Knowing Ball podcast. So.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit. If you tailed us during the playoffs, then you would have made some money for sure. Excuse me. But yeah, man. I mean, obviously the Patriots were dog shit in this game. They had no business being in that game. I think we found out through the playoffs with the breaks that the Patriots got. I don't even think they were like a top 5 team in the NFL this year, but you know, that's just the way that shit broke down this year, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think I saw or heard that they were the number 2 scoring offense in the league. So you got to give them some. You know, they only played the teams that were in front of them, like we always say. Which, I mean, if you look at it, they were the easier teams that anybody else played. So
yeah, I mean, they've had the easiest schedule in like 30 years or something when they actually really broke it down. You know, and it showed when they got to and actually played a real team with their starting quarterback. And a quarterback that doesn't completely shit the bed when the lights get bright, like Justin Herbert or C.J. Stroud. So, or Jarrett Stidham, apparently. So I can't talk too much shit, I guess. But they didn't have to play Bo. So they got gifted a place in the Super Bowl. They got to hang out in San Francisco for a couple weeks to go and get their ass kicked.
Yeah. No, me personally, I think the Patriots are a really good team. That offensive line is just trash. I know. I think we heard. But me personally, I said this even before the playoffs. I think the Patriots are a young team. I didn't think they were going to make it this far. People can call it luck. People can call it whatever they want. But they went through the Broncos. Unfortunately, Bo sucks that he got hurt. It would have been very exciting to see that game. I don't think it would have been. It wouldn't have been like crazy game. I feel like it would have been all defense. For some reason, Bo likes these very close games, so it would have been very exciting to see if he, how that whole weather situation would have worked out with him, but it didn't. In the end, they beat the Texans. Yeah, C.J. Stroud. I guess I don't know if it was Herbert under that helmet, but. C.J. Stroud definitely didn't help that defense, but hey, that Texans defense still solid. So, in the end of the day, he didn't have the best games versus the best teams, but in the end of the day, like I've always said, even though they make mistakes, good teams overcome them, and they were a good team that overcame those mistakes. As for the Seahawks, they've been playing great the entire season. I mean, halfway through it, I thought the Rams were going to take it. I thought the Rams, Matt Stafford was playing lights out. Puka, Adams, Kyron Williams, everybody. But, Seahawks literally towards the end, they stayed healthy, even without, losing the running back. K9 fucking ran lights out. Even in the Super Bowl, he was only averaging 5 yards a carry, so he didn't really.
Only 5 yards
that's
to carry.
pretty good.
You run
Yeah.
it twice. You got
Especially
a first down.
after Dobbins got out, I think I would kill somebody for
Oh,
5
of
yards
course,
a carry.
but
for
I
the
mean,
Broncos.
I mean, they never like. There was times where he was getting like stopped. There was times where like he was getting like, there wasn't like lanes and everything, but they stayed consistent, and he broke those big runs and everything. So they were a good team. Like,
Yeah, even
all the way throughout the season, playoffs, and
with
everything.
JSN coming out, they still were able to put up numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, look, the Seahawks look pretty good, and they definitely deserve to be the Super Bowl champions. But I think if I lined up against Will Campbell, I would have got 5 or 6 sacks against the Patriots on Sunday.
Maybe one.
Nah,
Maybe one.
dude, Will Campbell is super duper
No,
trash.
he makes an maybe a second string or third string look like he's an all pro.
Yeah, he was awful.
Yes,
He was
throughout
awful.
the whole playoffs, and that's why, like, for me, once if he gets better, because I do remember Colton Miller really being horrible his first season. If he ends up improving, I can see them getting better. But this throughout the whole playoffs, I don't blame Drake May. That offensive line definitely didn't help him out. That's why he was rushing. He was running for his life. Like, I think he had the most rushing yards in the playoffs as well. So great player, great quarterback. Just even though and I still think he needs more weapons around him. Stephon Diggs, I don't know where the hell he was at in the Super Bowl. Side note, did you guys hear that fool? Cardi B broke up with him.
Oh no, I
I
can't
saw
believe
that.
it.
I saw that meme a video where it was
I can't
Fast and
believe
the
it didn't-
Furious.
Oh, yeah.
When he's like,
You didn't win.
yeah, he's like, what the fuck you talking about? You didn't win. Oh, that shit had me dying.
I can't believe it didn't work out for them. Such a lovely,
But
two great, amazing people
and-
that deserved each other.
And another side note, one of my cousins was like, dang, Stephon Diggs is going to be another picture of him watching another team celebrate. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, they need better weapons. So, yeah, I still think they're a young team. They can turn it around.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're definitely a young team, and they're ahead of schedule getting to the Super Bowl this year. But, yeah, I mean, just super not impressed with what I saw on the field Sunday. Obviously, the salty part of me as a Bronco fan watching that game was incredibly frustrating, knowing that if Bo hadn't gotten hurt, at the very least, the Broncos would have been there. They would have kicked the shit out of the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. We went over that. And I think they would have had a good chance against the Seattle Seahawks. I don't know if they would have won. We'll never know. But we'll get a good Bronco. That's the one game I'm already looking forward to next year is the Broncos and the Seahawks, because I really think the Broncos are going to show that they're definitely a team that could compete with the Seahawks.
That definitely would have been a better game this.
Yeah, I don't
past
know if
Sunday.
there's anyone who would make the argument at this point that wouldn't have been a better game if Bo, like obviously if they pulled off a game or the win with Stidham and played the Seahawks, it would have been pretty similar, I think.
Or overall, not even the Bills would have been a better game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the winner of that Broncos-Bills game should have went to the AFC Championship game, no doubt. Yeah, I would have much rather see Josh Allen playing that Super Bowl than Drake May, no doubt about it. But then that would have meant that the Broncos lost in the divisional round, and I'd have to hear about the fraud bullshit, which at the very least I didn't have to hear about that, even though Bo broke his goddamn ankle. But let's get into a conversation more geared towards the Broncos, Chargers, and the Raiders. Coming off of that Super Bowl, what we learned when it comes to the three teams here that we talk about. What was the biggest reason why the Chargers and the Broncos and the Raiders didn't make the Super Bowl? The Raiders obviously have more than one. And then we'll talk about the Raiders, and whether or not they can make a Patriots-like run, going from being one of the worst teams in the league to just a couple years later representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. So let's start with the Chargers, because they were a little bit further away than the Broncos. So I'm sure that you could probably point to maybe a couple of things, but number one reason why the Chargers weren't representing the AFC in the Super Bowl this year was
The incompetence of the offensive coordinator just not playing to the skill set of his players.
Boy, I really hope that McDaniels doesn't work out.
It's gonna be
What's the excuse
better
gonna
no
be
matter
next
what,
year?
because he's not gonna be running like a dinosaur aged scheme of run the ball. And even though when you're
I think
outside
McDaniels going to
runs-
want to run the ball a lot.
No, yeah, but again, playing to your players' strengths. There were outside runs were visibly and like they were working really well, and then they just go away from it. It's like, no, we run the ball inside. That's what we do. It's like you're not playing to your players' strengths. You're trying to scheme up something and then trying to make your players fit to that instead of scheming around what your players do best. So I think that was the biggest downfall for the Chargers this year. Is just, and even we all saw Justin Herbert was getting his ass kicked every week, but here we go, 5-step, 7-step dropbacks every time, thinking that like, oh, we'll just catch him off guard one time. Like, no, like we got to get the ball out of his hands quick and let the players make plays with the ball in their hand. But they weren't even doing that. When it worked, they just went away from it. It's like they were like, oh, they're gonna know we're gonna do this, so let's not do it, even though it works for us. It's like it didn't make sense. Whenever the Chargers did go out there and have a good offensive output, it was Justin Herbert got out of the pocket, escaped a sack, and threw the ball to a receiver that leaked out. It was never something that was like a well schemed up play. It may have been like a one-on-one where like, all right, I'm just gonna take this shot. But it was, you don't need to scheme that up. You see the one-on-one on the outside, all right, I'm taking this shot. That's what that is. But there wasn't a lot of like pre-snap motions, things like that were going on to get free releases. So that's why I was saying like the incompetence of the offensive coordinator, just going with not coming to terms with times.
Okay, we'll find out this year, next season.
Yeah.
I honestly thought you were going to go injuries because that would, for me.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see a better offense if the
lot.
Chargers could stay healthy, which they never can anyway. So, I mean, I'm obviously not wishing injuries, but let's just face it, the Chargers are always injured. So, we'll have to see what happens next season. But, I mean, just having Alt and Slater back is going to make that offense much better.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously if they could keep their running backs healthy as well. So,
yeah, I could have pointed out to injuries, but like everybody has injuries. You can't ever just say like, that's the reason. Yes, of course, in the one game. For one game, yes.
Yeah, I was going to
but
say.
you can't say that as
I was
like,
going to say, I think there's a pretty good argument.
Yeah, but you can't say that as far as like the entire season.
You
that's what was our
can't.
downfall.
I mean, that's true. You can't always say, oh, it's because of injuries. But, dude, as the Chargers, it feels like either y'all are cursed. Like, y'all literally left San Diego. Even in San Diego, we're getting injured a lot. And even in LA, we're getting injured. Like, that's crazy.
Cursed franchise, poverty franchise. They just can't get it together. And it's always going to be that way for the Chargers. So,
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but like I'm just saying I would have probably gone with like injuries for sure.
Yeah, because Slater went out before the season started. Joe went down for the year in like week 4 or 5, something like that. You had 10 weeks to figure it out.
Yeah.
Other teams figured it out, at least for a couple game stretches, or got themselves in good position. But it just seemed like every time we took a step forward and figured out like, oh, this works, they took like 2 steps back.
Yeah,
by not leaning into that.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I think they had a pretty good season overall, given the injuries.
Yeah,
it's just Justin Herbert realized it was the playoffs. They need to figure out a way to like hypnotize him and just convince him that it's like week 7 or something.
Instead of saying playoff weekend, just play make it seem like it's a regular weekend game.
Well, I mean, like maybe just when the game starts, like just have a hypnotist come in and be like, Justin, it's September. And you got nothing to worry about, man. Just go out there and play football, and maybe they get a win. I don't know. But at some point, he'll probably hear that it's the playoffs, and he'll just start panicking and shit his pants again. So I don't know what to do for the Chargers, but I'm glad they have that problem. The Raiders, they obviously have a lot more than just 1 or 2 holes. So it's hard to sum it up with just one issue, but if you had to.
Honestly, to be honest with you, one of the key things that I feel like, I wouldn't say it definitely would have made us go into the playoffs, but I feel like we would definitely hit that 6 to 7 mark of wins. Cause it's kind of hard because I don't blame Chip Kelly, but it's kind of hard to pick because I guess I'll blame Tom Brady because he's the one that forced these 2 guys to work together. But if we would have got an offensive coordinator that could have worked good with Pete Carroll, I feel like the offense would have played a lot better. Not saying like I said, I wouldn't say a top tier, like top 10 offense, but I feel like we would have won more games.
I don't know if there was any saving Geno Smith this year, dude.
I mean, I feel like dude, after like Pete Carroll got fired and hearing what went down with like them having to meet up to like make up their own calls and shit like that because throughout the practice nothing like that was going on. As much as I want to blame Gino because Gino says blame it on him. As much as I want to blame it on him, dude, I blame it more on Brendan Carroll. I blame it more on Pete, like for bringing Brendan Carroll. I blame it on Tom Brady for fucking bringing in Chip Kelly, and for getting his own play calls. Like it's like I said, it's hard to fucking go to pick one spot. But if we would have got a better offensive coordinator that got along with Pete Carroll, I feel like it would have been a lot easier transition. I'm not saying like it would have. I'm not saying that we would have, been. We still would have been in last, but we wouldn't have got the first round pick, which kind of sucked as well.
But that also goes to what, like I said earlier in the season, like it's not just Tom Brady. It's not just us. It's like from the top. Like they needed somebody that makes decisions, and then coming in and bringing in consultants to figure out who's going to be your head coach, and then a consultant like who's going to figure out who's going to be the general manager. Like that's not the way to. I feel that's not the way to run things.
I mean, you that's right, but look at the Chiefs. They use the same consultants to hire Andy Reid, and look at where they're at now. Look at Pete Carroll when he got hired by the Seahawks. Look how long he was there with the Seahawks. Like, just because the Raiders got it wrong the one time with the consultants, when they have Bruce Arians was hired to the Bucks with that same consultants. Like, they have a good, resume. I'm not gonna say like, and to be honest with you, I don't know exactly the whole thing the way it went down last year, but I do know that it wasn't Tom Brady and it wasn't Mark Davis asking the questions. He wasn't even part of it. Like once Tom Brady came in, he's in charge of that. The good thing that is now, it's not just Tom Brady now. It's Spytech. Like Spytech has a saying in this now. It's a GM like Clint Kubiak. Oh, sorry. He's the one picking the head coaches now. Like he's the one like helping Tom Brady like build this team. Before it was just Tom Brady. So now that we like, even though we didn't get it right with Pete Carroll, I feel like we got it right with Spytech, and he's basically with now like we're basically going off of him and Tom Brady, not Mark Davis and Tom Brady, basically. You know what I'm saying?
They
like,
need to kick Mark Davis out of that room.
Yeah, like he basically like during when they let Pete Carroll go, he literally came out with saying that he's handing the keys to Spytech and Tom Brady. Like they're the ones making the decisions now. I'm just here. As long as I see results, I'm okay with it. He's not gonna fucking put his hand on it. And so, me personally, but like I will go back to like if we could have at least got our offensive playing a little bit better, our defense was playing just fine. I feel like our defense was playing fine throughout the first half of the season, but because our offense was so bad, so many 4-and-outs, 13, 14 plus interceptions, like this defense was so on the field so much more than the offense that I feel like with the better decent offense, with the better offense, this defense wouldn't have been tired throughout the game. So yeah, like one thing that would have definitely helped out the Raiders would have been a better offensive coordinator. But in the end of the day, I feel like the way they organized their whole thing was they were trying to tank at this point.
Yeah, it was definitely disarray.
The way everything came out, the way even like during the season for me, I feel like these guys are trying to tank. Like
it just seemed like last year
they weren't trying to do
a forced
anything.
marriage all around with the Raiders.
I wish they wouldn't have overpaid for the OC if they were trying to do all that.
Well, it's not your money. Who gives a shit? It doesn't affect the cap either. Who cares? They're going to be paying hell a bunch of coaches because, I mean, that's just what the Raiders do, man. That's just what they do.
They're only paying 3 coaches, okay?
As of now?
No. Yeah, hopefully as of now. But yeah, so, I mean, one thing for sure would have been OC, but as I feel like, this last year was a clear sign that the Raiders or the GM, whoever was, they were just trying to tank. They didn't care what the hell was going on with the season.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on. And look, I mean, I've already talked about Bo Nix and his ankle, that being the reason why the Broncos weren't in the Super Bowl this year, and it really is. Because like I've said, look, Bo Nix plays in the AFC Championship game. I don't think it's close. I don't think he makes that bounce pass shit that Justin Herbert tried to do. I think he makes a couple of plays that Stiddy just doesn't have in his arsenal. And by the time you go into halftime, the Broncos are up 17-0, and they just coast with the weather. But that's over and done with. I think the one thing that, I mean, look, it's easy to say too. The Broncos need to focus on this offseason, and that could have really helped them in that game, was having some more weapons, some more reliable weapons, top-end weapons, The Broncos have some guys that they like, some younger guys that they can rely on, but they don't have a Jamar Chase or a A.J. Brown or a Justin Jefferson.
It's okay, though. They got Ingram for one more year.
Yeah, maybe he's the guy next year.
Now you're coming around to my take at the beginning of the season when I said they need a true number one. Like,
I don't think I ever disagreed with you on that. The
You-
Broncos have 3 guys that I don't know how long they're going to be married to their development. In Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant, and Marvin Mims. All 3 of them have shown signs of being really good players, but, can you see at least one of them taking that step and being a true number one? I'm not sure yet. So that's kind of they're in a tough spot. Having J.K. Dobbins for that AFC Championship game would have been awesome, but that's the problem with having J.K. Dobbins is a lot of the times he's not there.
Yep.
And for this particular game, he wasn't, and the Broncos just didn't have guys that they could rely on in between the tackles. Harvey was great. I think he's going to trend towards being a third down back for his career, which nothing wrong with that. He could come in, pass protect, and then come out of the backfield and make some big plays. But the Broncos, when J.K. went down, they didn't have a running game. And in a game in the snow, when you have a backup quarterback, that would have been really useful there, you know. So, I mean, just to kind of expand on the fact, again, if Bo was there, they win that game. They have a tight Super Bowl with the Seahawks. If Stiddy doesn't make a bounce pass.
Starting to sound like you say the Chargers fans sound like if.
No, this is completely different because
if.
It's completely different because when it's surrounded around Justin Herbert, it's around Justin Herbert. Bo Nix broke his ankle. He couldn't play.
Availability is the best ability.
Yeah, so that's a really stupid argument. But
according to you.
No, I think
Just because you say it doesn't mean anything.
When we're talking about Bo Nix versus Justin Herbert and the if conversation, when you talk about Bo Nix this year, it's if he didn't break his ankle. With Justin Herbert, it's always, well, if he had a better offensive coordinator. If it wasn't for this or that, Justin Herbert wouldn't shit his bed every single time he gets in a playoff game. But in reality, it's just he sucks in the playoffs.
No.
Good argument.
Doesn't have a team around him. Like you just said. That
he's played in 3 playoff games. He obviously has a team around him that gets him to the playoffs. And then what?
Or
what
he
happens?
drags the team to the playoffs, and then they exploit every weakness that's around the entire team.
Okay.
Or the one biggest weakness. Because that's what the playoffs do. They exploit your weakness. You said yourself that the Broncos couldn't run the ball. The Patriots, that wasn't like on accident. The Patriots exploited that. They knew that they were going to try to just like, we can only win this by running the ball. And I think that's why the Broncos surprised them there at the beginning with that touchdown, like kind of airing it out a little more than what the Patriots were expecting. In the playoffs, that's what always happens. They exploit your biggest weakness.
So, I mean, the Patriots exploited the fact that the Broncos had to start a backup quarterback. Yeah, they did. I guess the Patriots did the same thing with having to play Justin Herbert. They knew he would suck.
Yeah, play man, play a spy, and they know that they couldn't get separation. Didn't have any running game because Omar Hampton was out. And all right, play man. These guys can't separate and put a spy on Herbert. That's the game.
Those guys wide open all game. Those guys open all game. Herbert just didn't see him because he was seeing ghosts. But look, I mean, at the end of the day, that's it. The Broncos didn't have the weapons to overcome losing Bo. So, yeah, that's their main goal this offseason. Give Bo some weapons and just keep that ankle healthy, please.
Yeah, multiple surgeries on it.
This was a different bone. It was completely unrelated. They said it has no effect on his future, so I'm not worried about that at all. Let's get into...
You would be saying that as a Broncos fan.
Well, I mean, I could only go based on what the doctors did.
No, I'm saying that
reports came out.
I'm not about the ankle. About the tension between the coach and the quarterback.
Yeah, well, I don't even think that's worth discussing. It's been squashed. So, yeah, there's nothing to worry about either. Bo and Sean yell at each other every game. All of a sudden we're worried about their relationship. It's dumb. They have a relationship where they could actually have a conversation and yell at each other. So, just like we do whenever we watch the Broncos and the Chargers play.
Yeah, but we're going against each other, not on the same team.
Not on this pod, Omar. Not on this pod. We on the same team. Get us some views, please. If you're watching, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment on the video. All of that is really appreciated. Obviously, these guys have YouTube channels, and they never like and comment. So if these guys could do that, that would be awesome. Help us out really when the video comes out. So really appreciate that. Thank you. Let's get into the Raider conversation that we were talking about in regards to comparing them to the Patriots. Obviously, the Patriots a couple years ago, obviously after Brady leaves, Belichick is gone. He goes and messes around with that 26-year-old, and they don't have a quarterback. They don't have a head coach. They bring in a head coach that didn't work out in Mayo. They draft in May. Then they drafted Will Campbell with the number 4 pick, make some off-season moves, sign Stephon Diggs, have the easiest schedule in the world, and end up playing in the Super Bowl.
Hey, forgot about. I think the biggest thing there is the head coach that they got is
Right.
Mike Vrabel.
Brought in a real head coach in Mike
Yes.
Vrabel. Got rid of Mayo because he was pretty bad. And not only did they make it to the Super Bowl this year, but I think you could argue this, but they have a good young team and should be competitive the next couple of years. I don't think they'll be in the Super Bowl conversation next season, but time will tell. Raiders are in a pretty similar position as the Patriots were a couple of years ago. They don't have a quarterback. They're in a position to draft one. They have a brand new head coach. We'll see.
And we will not have the easiest schedule in the season.
No, definitely not because of their division. So
yeah, because of our division,
And
and
the
we'll be
division
playing
we'll
the
be
hardest
playing.
division,
Yeah,
or one of the hardest divisions.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the differences there if we think that they could be in a similar position. Because that's the great thing about football, too, is that we were mentioned before we started recording, is you see every single year there's teams going from worst to first, going from a position where they weren't even close to the playoffs are now making playoff runs. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why the world loves the NFL, America loves the NFL, and why no one gives a shit about baseball anymore. We already know who. You could tell who he's a fucking fan of. Which, by the way, if you're a Dodger fan, I don't want to hear a word about.
Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater.
Don't
right
want
now.
to hear a word about.
Don't
the
be a
Chiefs.
hater. Playing within the rules, and nobody else wants to play like that.
Exactly.
That's their fault.
And that's why the NFL is better, is because there's rules to keep it competitive. Each team is on a playing field that's level, and we're not going to know the Super Bowl winner for the next 5 years like we do with baseball. What's the fucking point of watching baseball? Right?
It was a 7-game series. They lost. They won it in the 7th game in extra innings. I don't know how that doesn't make.
And it was the least shocking thing ever. And they're going to do the same thing next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. It's just someone who doesn't give a shit about baseball anymore because of this reason. But this is why NFL is king.
Wait,
this is why NFL is king.
You're a Giants fan, right? Yeah. All right, let's keep that.
NFL's king. Can the Raiders do it?
No. No. I definitely have faith that Clint could turn this around, but not in 1 year. I had already mentioned it. The schedule is going to be way too hard. Just the schedule alone, we're playing the NFC West. That's lost that's an L in every single game right there.
Even the Cardinals?
Oh, I forgot the Cardinals. I was just thinking of the Rams.
The 49ers.
The 49ers, yeah. Cardinals, yeah, I can see a win. I think I saw that we played Miami. I wouldn't say that's a for sure win, but
we don't have to go through all the way through the schedule, but just based on what they have on the roster now, they should be drafting Mendoza, bringing in a head coach that you hope to be competent. I mean, we'll find out.
I mean, it all depends too on what they do before the draft, they might have some extra first round picks there with
Right.
Maxx
They
Crosby.
have a lot of different things that they could play with.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, definitely the Raiders have like a lot of things they can do. Like you said, they can definitely trade Maxx. They've already came out that they're asking for the same thing the Cowboys got for Parsons, so that's a really good haul. Definitely would help out. But it's the only way the Raiders can honestly have the same type of like or a similar type of like jump is going to depend on how hard they attack free agency. If they do get Mendoza, because of Tom Brady, I don't see him starting unless he really like surprises everybody in during the mini camp and everything.
When you say go hard on the off season, like free agency, like what, like position wise, or
clearly we have to attack the offensive line. Clearly we have to get some pieces on. I mean, I don't know exactly if they would. I would say attack defensive line on the free agency, maybe the draft, maybe I don't know, but the defense definitely needs pieces. The offensive line needs to get built, and maybe like maybe one or two more weapons on just to make the quarterback comfortable. Mendoza, if he ends up starting, or maybe they bring
Gino.
maybe they have a bridge. Yeah, Gino. Yeah, that bridge is burnt. That feels like. Yeah, I don't see him coming back. I did hear they're gonna either try to trade him, but if not, they're gonna let him go. It's only gonna be like a 5 or I forgot how much. I have to look it up again.
Well, look at the Raiders roster, what they have now compared to like what the Patriots had at the time of they're rebuilding. Like left tackle, they have Colton Miller, right? So I don't know how you feel about him going future in a couple years, but he's definitely a competent piece. Take him over Will Campbell at the moment. They do have weapons. The Patriots didn't have a Brock Bowers. Could argue they didn't have an Ashton Genty either. So
Yeah,
you got two guys there.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if they can definitely attack the free agency, like especially the offensive line, because protecting the quarterback is going to be number one. If they can protect, whoever's going to be back there, I feel like we saw it with Sam Darnold. Like Sam Darnold, he's a good quarterback. He's proved me wrong this season, but I still see Sam Darnold from kind of like from the Niners. I wouldn't say the Jets, but the Niners, because after Shanahan's offense, he played very well. Put him in behind a good offensive line, put some weapons around him, and he could win you games. So I do see with Genty, with Genty right back as a running back, whoever's quarterback, that's gonna be, their number one. Brock Bowers is obviously number one, not Genty. Brock Bowers number one, Genty number two. If they decide to keep Michael Mayer, that's another weapon right there. The receivers, I'm sure that they can still have time. They still have time to work. I can still see them getting better. I wouldn't say they'll become, elite or number one, but they're still I still see improvement with them. So we're a good young offense and a few pieces away from defense. Like I said, if the Raiders decide to go all in free agency, and not be scared of spending their $90 million, and they hit on those free agencies, maybe. But I believe Spytek is going to try to do this slow. I don't think he wants to go out there and really, spend all the entire cap space. I think he wants to
The problem with that now, especially with the way quarterback contracts are, is you don't have all the time in the world. When you draft a rookie, especially if you're drafting him number one overall, he's got to be your starter.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be a disaster if he's not going to be your starter that year, because you have to get that ball rolling on, okay, we got 5 years to make this happen.
Yeah.
You don't have time like you used to back in the 90s, early 2000s, where a contract wouldn't essentially be your or the nail in the coffin.
I agree with that too. I agree on that.
They have to put pedal in the metal.
Especially
if they do draft Mendoza, then they have to get going.
No, I agree on that 100%. Especially if you're drafting him number one. But the thing is I don't know exactly how involved Tom Brady's going to be, and he's already came out in interviews saying that he doesn't like when rookies come out just gets thrown out there without not really prepared, just learning on the fly. So I wouldn't really say that they're not going to put him out there if they don't put him out there and he's a first round pick it's kind of concerning because that means that there's something that he's clearly not ready for. But me personally, I do think that I do see him starting Fernando Mendoza. I do see Clint Kubiak trusting him with this offense. I just don't know exactly how Tom Brady's going to be involved, like I said. But, that's something that we just have to wait and see.
I don't know. I don't know if I 100% agree with you guys on that. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks, good quarterbacks, first round quarterbacks, just getting thrown out there when you could tell that they weren't ready. And even if they were ready and they had some confidence and they had some bad games, that confidence just goes down the chute. And sometimes, like, you can't rebuild that from there.
Right. Then you make the argument, then that's just not a guy that is ready to take
No,
over.
well, like, it's Sam Darnold, man. Like, I bet you he would have benefited when he got drafted by the Jets by sitting behind a guy for a year.
To be honest,
to
be fair with the Jets, I don't.
But hey,
that's
the only thing we have
Jets.
is what we had for him going out there. But if he sat behind a veteran for a year, learn like a lot of these older quarterbacks used to, like back in the day. No, I'm saying not for 3-4 years like they used to, but like half a season. You're not going to do anything as the Raiders. You already said it. They're not going to go to the playoffs. So I'd say give them a handful of games, not starting. Let them get used to how an NFL game works, and then get them out there. And then just kind of the first year for the Raiders is like, all right, let's get this train moving in the right direction, and not go backwards again like we have been doing every year.
I do, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know exactly. I feel like Spytek, it wants to do it the slow way, kind of like basically the way you're saying. Like, built it. I don't not really go like the Patriots did this last season, like spending all their cat's money or most of it. I don't see Spytek doing that. Like, I see him obviously, picking up some good players on good deals and seeing if they work out, but obviously building this team through the draft. And I do know, like, I also agree with you. Like, it's kind of concerning because these quarterbacks these years fly by. Like, you definitely, like, before you know it, and especially if he ends up becoming that quarterback that everybody sees him, he ends up becoming expensive. There goes our chances of like building this team and stuff.
And with the way quarterback contracts work now, he doesn't even have to be like a top 5 quarterback to be the highest paid quarterback now.
Yeah,
I mean, look at Tua.
Yeah.
When he signed his deal, he was nowhere near like a top 8, 9, 10 quarterback. But he signs that huge deal, and now they're like looking at each other like, "Oh shit! Like we made a huge mistake."
Yeah, so
they're about to take a bigger dead cap than.
But
the
that's
Broncos
when
did
you got to like prepare for that. Like, the first 2 years, maybe 3 years of that rookie contract, you freaking try to throw as much at the weapons and offensive line and everything as much as you can because you have that money. But once he jumps into that 4th, 5th year, or maybe even 6th year, once he gets his contract bump, then you go back in the draft and you try to build through the draft. There's still a chance to win that way.
Hypothetically, obviously that's a good point. But at the same time, like when you're straddled with that contract, I mean, you look at the past Super Bowl winners. I think Mahomes is still nominally, and maybe one other. But you look at the percentage of a quarterback's contract. I think it's at like 13-14% against the cap or something like that. Once you hit that, teams just don't win the Super Bowl because you got nothing else to work with when it comes to building your team. That's why those years are so important. And if you spend one of them with him on the bench, you're taking away 20% of that time that you have at a shot at
the
Super
Raiders.
Bowl.
That's already taken away at the beginning of the season. So
yeah, I mean, but you're getting him a year of experience of actually being on the field. I don't think it really helps to have him watch. I've watched a lot of NFL games. I don't think it really means I can go out there and play
in the sideline, going into the team meetings, and then you're not that. I still playing think bad isn't like maybe getting in your head. You're talking all this shit about Justin Herbert playing bad in the playoffs and saying it's in his head. Yes, that could happen to a player in the regular season too.
No, for sure, absolutely. And then you just get to the point where it's like, all right, it's been 3 years, he hasn't worked out. We're going back to the draft.
Yeah, we're going starting from scratch.
I think 3
again.
years is almost too long at this point. The amount of money that's at stake with the NFL now, I don't think you really have that luxury of being like, well, let's just wait out and see how it plays out. Like, you need to find out if you've got a dude pretty early on. I mean, look at the draft class with Bo. I mean, you got Caleb Williams, Drake May, obviously Bo. Jaden. I mean, all those guys started right away, and we're already starting to figure out who's separating from that pack and who isn't. Who is worth the draft pick? Michael Penix is obviously not even playing anymore with his injury. Excuse me, that's a little different. Kelly Williams took a little bit longer to develop, but now you look at him as definitely in that competition. Bo hit pretty much right away. Took him a couple of games. Drake May took a little bit longer. But if those guys were still sitting the bench just watching,
Yeah, I don't.
You're a year or two behind the 8 ball.
Like, I don't think they're gonna bench him just to bench him. Like, I think like if he shows that he's ready, they're gonna put him out there. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if they bench him, it's clearly because he's not ready, which that would be concerning to me. And so, like, for me personally, the way I see it is and just because we've seen it before with the Bears, with Ben Johnson and who's the other one? Well, Ben Johnson, like the first thing he did once he got to the Bears was he spent a bunch of money on that offensive line, and look at them now. So that's why, like, for me, I feel like this offseason, I can see them dropping a lot of money or just going out there and just attacking the offensive line. If it's a center from the Ravens, if it's a tackle from the Patriots, like, so be it. I do think
I don't think you want to tackle from the Patriots. They suck, bro.
Nah.
They're going to trade for Will Campbell.
Yeah, we're the first round pick. But at the end of the day, like, I do feel like they're going to attack the offseason. I just don't know how hard. And like I said, like, it's not just the offensive line. There's a lot of pieces missing on the defense. I think once the new season starts, we only have like 2 linebackers signed. Elandon Roberts, Jamal Adams, and Devin White are free agents. So, like, I wonder who they're gonna like sign for that, or they're gonna draft corners, if they're gonna do, like, all that stuff. There's just corners, safeties, linebackers. I'm pretty sure some pass rushers.
That's one thing the Patriots definitely have over the Raiders, was having a corner in Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah.
The Raiders don't have that, and that's a pretty important piece.
And he's not just a good one; he's one of the great ones in
They actually
in the
have
league right now.
He's definitely a top.
They actually have like a
sure.
pretty good cornerback duo.
Yeah, they do. And that's one of the reasons why they were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's something that the Raiders definitely don't have, and something that they would need to find pretty quick is a lockdown corner, which there isn't many in the league. So, that's definitely going to be a hole that they would need to fill if they wanted to try to catch up with the Patriots like that. And then looking at the division, obviously, because this not only affects this year, but obviously every year going forward with their schedule, the Patriots really only have the Bills to worry about. Then they got the Dolphins and the Jets, which, they're, dog shit poverty franchises that are just always going to suck. The Raiders don't have that luxury, obviously. They got 3 teams ahead of them, and we could get into it with our next conversation, that have much better odds to win, and all have quarterbacks and head coaches. So,
I trust. Like I said, I mean, for me, from what I saw last year, great teams, definitely great teams, playoffs. But as bad as the Raiders played and as close as those games were, we'll see how this in the next couple of years. Because, yeah, if the Raiders were this bad and those games were that close, yeah, we lost. Yeah, whatever the score would have been. But if this Raider team gets better and those scores end up being the same, I just don't feel like it's going to be the same outcome. So, like, that set 10-7, no, like, that would have been a whole lot different. Especially if our team gets better, like,
it's also going to get worse. Taking away your best players, you're going to get worse.
For you guys or us?
No, for the Raiders, you take away Maxx Crosby, the team's definitely going to get worse.
Yeah,
I mean, that's if they take away Maxx Crosby.
Definitely not coming back.
I mean, we'll see.
It's like every other hour, a different story comes out that contradicts the other. It's
for me, it's funny. The most funniest thing for people who are watching is that every single time this comes out, these guys want to post it on the group chat. I'm like, dude, we've been through this. Like, yes, he's getting traded. Shout out to Junior that thought he was going to get traded to the Cowboys. Don't they wish they had a pass rusher?
Yeah, I mean, things are weird with Maxx Crosby now, because 1 hour he wants to get traded, the other hour he's saying, no, I don't. Then the hour comes again, and it's no, actually he does want to get traded. It's just, I guess we'll just find out whenever whatever happens.
Yeah.
And
Why would you want that drama
And-
out there?
if you're Maxx Crosby, why the hell do you still want to be a Raider, man? Just move on. Go get a better chance at a ring somewhere. The Raiders are at least a couple years away. Who knows what kind of player you're going to be in 2-3 years?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he'll still be good, but I don't know if he'll be top 3 in the league like he is
Crosby,
now.
they just want you to get out so they can stop. You can stop harassing them already.
I mean, yeah, it would be nice to not have to play Maxx Crosby twice a year.
No.
So there's that motivation too. But
He'll probably want to get away from Joel and Rashawn Slater too. So
If they can stay on the field.
hey, Trey Pipkins held him down. So just saying, Trey Pipkins was there for that one game.
Okay, let's move on. A few minutes left. Let's talk about the Super Bowl odds that just came out. Obviously being here in California, it's nothing that we could take advantage of, but I did think it was interesting. Some of these teams here that are near the top, how the AFC West shook out. The top team at plus 950 is the Seahawks. That makes sense. They're right there with the Rams tied. The third team, you guys want to take a guess?
Bills?
The third team?
Bills, you nailed it. Yeah. Bills plus 1,100. Then the Eagles plus 1,300. The Patriots, way too high, if you ask me. They're right there with the Eagles and the Ravens at plus 1,300.
I think the Eagles are too high too.
I do too.
Yeah. Yeah, the Eagles,
The year that they had all the drama, who knows if they have A.J. Brown or not. I think they will.
No, I think A.J. Brown's gone.
You think so?
Yeah, too much of a distraction during the season.
It's almost like they like that shit, though. It's weird with the Eagles.
It's like they appeased him by getting him more touches, and they became worse. So
right,
it's like
it didn't really make sense.
So yeah, so that's why I think they're just gonna take a hard look at it and be like, when we did what you wanted, we got worse.
Yeah.
And you didn't like it here when we were winning, so
They can just draft the receiver at this point.
Yeah. I mean,
not gonna be AJ Brown.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, you never
Definitely
know, dude.
won't. Most likely will not be an A.J. Brown.
At
But
this point, A.J. Brown's starting to become like A.B. a little bit.
yeah, no, that's a
He'll
good
probably end up on the
comparison.
Raiders then.
Yeah.
Dude, as soon as people were saying, "Oh, A.J. Brown's available," Raiders should pick him up. Fuck no. Stop,
Definitely
bro.
gonna be a Raider.
Stop.
Definitely gonna be
Why
Raider.
do you guys, a lot of Raider fans definitely run back to their exes.
Yeah, so
He's starting to think like us now.
I think the Ravens are a little high with a brand new
Yeah.
head coach. I mean, I know you have your thing for a mentor, and he was a great defensive coordinator, but
That's Omar's man crush right there.
making that jump and seeing if he could be better than Harbaugh right away is
Defensively, I see it. They are a good defensive team.
they weren't that great this
They
year.
weren't this year, but they also lost McDonald.
Right.
You know, that's who was their play caller, their defensive coordinator. So bringing in somebody that's a defensive coordinator and play caller that's going to focus on the side of the ball, I think it'll revert back to what it was. The offense, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing on offense. Honestly, they got to bring in a whole new offensive staff basically, and he has really not too many ties with a lot of offensive play callers.
Yeah, but I
So-
mean, you got two-time MVP, you got Henry, so they've got talent on that side of the ball.
Have they signed
I
an
get
OC
that.
yet or no?
I'm sure they did. I just don't
Yeah,
know.
they probably have. I don't think it was anybody huge.
Because I do know that he turned down the Browns. Mike McDaniels, I think he interviewed for
He's
either
with the
OC.
Chargers.
I know, but I think he interviewed for OC or head coach before.
I don't
For the Ravens, he was like on the first one. He didn't make the cut for the second, or I think he pulled out of that, pulled out of the Browns, and he pulled out of one more at the end.
No, he pulled out of the Browns. He already signed with the Chargers, or said he was going to sign with the Chargers, but supposedly he was still considered a head coach with the Raiders and I think the Ravens. But
I think he told them.
However,
he
shipped
told
out.
them.
He ended up with the Chargers. He's the Chargers offensive coordinator. So yeah, I don't know who the Ravens offensive coordinator is, but right behind him with the Packers and the Lions, you got the Chargers at plus 1,400. Which, if you're betting money on the Chargers to win the Super Bowl at plus 1,400, God bless you. You must have a lot of money. Either that or you're retarded. I just don't know how you could put money on the Chargers to win a Super Bowl after what you've seen them do in the playoffs.
With the teams that they've had, Herbert trying to do as much as he can. Maybe not for the best, but
maybe he needs to do less if that's what he's.
well, yeah, maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe he does. Maybe he needs actual people around to help, not just Herbert time all game long.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, outside of the Patriots, I think the Chargers are way too high. If you want to say the Chargers are going to have a good offense or a good record in the regular season, and maybe even win the AFC West, all right, I'll listen to you. But winning the Super Bowl is crazy.
Not to me. Not to me.
Otani's not walking through those doors, bro.
And Evan Ingram isn't going to get you to the Super Bowl either.
Okay, I got the Ingram note. Got it.
Going to keep coming.
He's still got 1 year on his contract, man. There's still time.
Yes. And even if they drop him, it's like all that dead cap for what? 2 plays.
No, I don't think there's really any dead cap to worry about. But I'm not a cap expert. I don't know.
Yeah.
Behind them, you got the Chiefs. I think they're too high with how Mahomes coming off the ACL.
Yeah, definitely. With that injury, it is too high.
Their cap situation is hell too. They're going to have a lot of work this offseason. You just get under the cap. And, yeah, I mean, even with Mahomes coming back, say he comes back early in the season, coming back from an ACL, especially when you run around like Mahomes.
And a shitty O-line.
Yeah, it's just – no, I hate that he got hurt. Don't get me wrong. But he did get hurt, and it was his ACL.
And it was at the end of the season.
Right.
So there's a chance that he could miss sometime early on in the season,
yeah.
or just not be 100% and just gun it out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think they're a little high. Then you got the Niners, plus 1,700. They're a pretty solid team, but again, they're always hurt too. They're like the Chargers.
But they're always a good team, even if they're hurt. Mm-hmm. It's like you expect them to get hurt and still play well.
Great head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then tied with the Broncos, you got the Texans, both of them at plus 1,900. Just ahead of teams like the Jaguars, Bears, and a little bit well behind or in front of the Bengals.
Yeah.
I feel like the betting public forgot what the Broncos did this year already, and that they were just an ankle away from going to the Super Bowl. Am I crazy? I mean,
yeah.
To be that far behind, you guys think that's fair?
At this point.
Remember how the season went? How the Broncos won, whatever games in a row, 11, 12 games in a row. Was in the AFC Championship game, would have won without a Bo Nix broken ankle.
The Patriots games were also very convincing wins.
So what? A win's a win. I don't understand that
There's
argument.
also this type of stuff also takes into account how you win. This is
all
rankings,
just essentially how the betting public is feeling, but
yeah, it takes into account the type of win and how they won. If they just scrape by, then that's gonna play into this factor. It's not just gonna be like, no, it was a win. Like, no, they won, but they barely beat this team. Okay, that takes into account that for this what we're looking at now. I think it does take a big factor.
Well, here's my argument against that, because you could say the same argument with the Chiefs. They were winning the close games that year, and then this year they were losing them. And that's why they missed the playoffs, and they weren't a very good team. The Broncos and the Chiefs were in different positions at that point. When the Broncos were winning these close games this year, the Broncos are ascending, right? They got Bo Nix in his second year. They got a bunch of young players that on their team. They're definitely on their way up, definitely not on their way down. My argument would be in those games where they're winning close last year, they're going to be a better team, and they're going to not be winning close games. They're going to be winning games by 1 or 2 possessions. Excuse me, more like 2 or 3 possessions. So that would be my argument against these close games. The Broncos are going to be a better team next year. I don't think you could really. They're not missing any huge pieces. They're not losing any top guys. They kept their defensive coordinator in Vance Joseph. They promoted a offensive coordinator, got Joe Lombardi out of there.
That doesn't matter.
No, I think it actually is important. We could talk about it. I don't think we add much to the conversation, but I think it is important. So, yeah, I think the Broncos are better next year, so we don't really have to worry about the one-score games as much. But what that did teach us is that Bo Nix wins those close games. So I feel good about him going into those dogfights.
But it was
as every Broncos fan should.
Exactly.
As a Broncos fan.
Is anyone that just watched the Bronco game last year? We saw Bo Nix play his best when he was behind or it was a close game. Look, I mean, as a Bronco fan, you look at these odds and you say, okay, that's bullshit. These are wrong. But also, if you're a Bronco fan and you live in a free state and you can place money, hey, you just win more money when they win the Super Bowl
We
next
live
year.
in a free state. We can vote for whatever we want.
But you can win more money. So Bronco fans, take solace in that. You guys want to hear what the Raiders odds are?
No, but I'm about to put $100 bucks.
The only reason I want to hear what the Raiders odds are is if to see if anybody's below them.
There's 2 teams below them.
Oh, you guys are coming up, ascending, like Alex said.
Ascending, bro. The funny part is that everybody always like, oh, Raiders are trash. Yeah, they are. But you do know there's worse teams than us, even though we did come in first. Like we did get the first round pick.
No, that's literally what it means. That there's no other worse team than you guys.
No, there is
True.
more because we actually tied.
Well, I guess
How many people
odds,
tied with the same record?
You guys want to guess who the 2 teams are that have worse odds?
Titans and Browns.
No, neither one.
Oh shit!
Titans actually have a quarterback. He has flashes. But.
Yeah, the Titans are still pretty low on this list. But those 2 teams are the Dolphins and the Cardinals.
Oh, I was like,
Both at plus 20,000.
I still wanted to guess, but I was going to take forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cardinals with new coach, possibly new quarterback.
Yeah,
and
they're
still having to pay Kyler, and
same thing with
that's
the Dolphins.
shitty-
They got a new head coach. They got a more than likely new quarterback too. So
yeah, I think that they'll give him a little more of a shot, Tua, but we don't need to get into that.
yeah, yep. So yeah, those are the.
They got to move on from Tua now. Go to Ewers.
It will be interesting to see how these odds shift after free agency in the draft.
Yeah, definitely.
But going into it, I like some of the power rankings that I saw better that had the Broncos listed at number 1.
Yeah, those are wrong.
But is there anything else we want to add for this week?
No, just that. I mean, it wasn't a very eventful Super Bowl.
We all knew going
Hopefully
into
we can-
it.
Yeah,
It wouldn't
hopefully
be
it'll be
competitive.
better next year when the Chargers are in there
The Chargers are
and
not
winning
making the
it.
Super
With
Bowl.
an empty stadium.
Their home stadium. Still,
There'll be a bunch of just random people and like Vikings fans and Bills
They're all-
fans there for some
Everybody-
reason.
It's going to look like an overseas game because everybody's wearing random ass
Different, yeah.
jerseys.
That's another good point of why the Chargers will never win the Super Bowl. Even if they do get home field advantage, they don't have a home field advantage because no one gives a shit
Getting
about
there.
the Chargers.
It's getting there.
Everyone in that stadium is going to be rooting for whoever they're playing. And that's a big part of going through a big playoff run is having a home field advantage. The Chargers do not have one.
They're building their home field advantage. It's not there. I'll give you guys that 100%. But they're building. It's not like it's. They moved to a different city, and the city that it was just 2 hours south of there abandoned them. So their crowd basically said, "We don't want you guys anymore because you guys left San Diego."
Right.
They had to rebuild, and this is them catching a new generation. Trying to get people involved, it's going to take time, and it's getting there. The fan base is building. I feel like even though the Rams already won a Super Bowl, I feel like the Chargers fan base is growing a little faster than the Rams, because the Rams you still have a lot of people that were Rams fans back in the day. The Rams left, and they switched teams, so they didn't come back to this huge fan base. So I think it's it's still pretty close, but I think the Chargers are starting to get a leg up.
You're comparing yourself to the Rams?
Yeah, but even if they,
That's the only other LA team.
even if what you're saying is true, and they're maybe just slightly starting to get some fans in the stadium, it's still a long way to go before you start looking at home field advantages like the Chiefs or the Broncos.
Yeah, but
or
I'm not
literally any other team in the NFL where you go into that stadium,
ascending.
especially in the playoffs.
Ascending.
You know where you are and who has the advantage. The Chargers are a long way away from that.
Yeah.
That's
Nothing
for
else to do in Denver besides go to a Bronco game on Sundays.
I guess you've never been to Denver, man.
Yeah, fuck
Don't
me
hate on
too.
the city. The city's dope. Okay, well, speaking of Super Bowls and the Broncos, 368 days until Bo Nix wins his first one.
Damn, that number got big real quick.
Real quick.
Bye.